There's a place down the street where good friends meet. Why don't you come along? See a face that's new, share a point of view, or maybe sing a song. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Life has many stories that you hear all the time. Two of them you'll hear today, that's yours and that's mine. But there's a third story that'll always be there. Just climb to the top of the stair. Climb to the top of the stair.
Okay, who wants what? Ron?
I think a chocolate milkshake would be real fine.
Okay, that's chocolate, blueberry for me. Don, you wanted banana, Connie chocolate, and what about you, Moni?
Oh, I don't know. It's so hard to decide.
Well, make up your mind.
Yeah, make up your mind, Moni. I want my milkshake now.
Get me, a strawberry, please.
Strawberry.
Wait. Make that butterscotch, I think.
Get out quick, Kelly, before she changes her mind again.
Wait, I gotta come with you, Kelly. I just hate making these important choices. It's so hard to choose.
Wanna bet Moni ends up with vanilla?
In an ice cream palace that features over 50 flavors?
Well, you have to make lots of choices every day, right now, or every minute of the day. Like, you know, if there's a basketball game tonight, you just say, should I go to that or stay home and do my homework?
One of the most important choices you can make is whether to become a Christian or not to become a Christian.
Another important choice is whether to obey your parents or not, or your teachers at school or something.
To decide, like, you think which is right and which one's wrong, and which one would God have you do?
Or which one would do better to you?
I think you test out a choice by if you benefit from it or not. Like, say you stay after school and help a teacher do something, you might get an extra mark in your grade or something like that. He might help you a bit more.
Like if you don't go around with the in crowd, then all the kids at school start calling you names and they don't, just all they do is bug you and all that kind of stuff, dump your books.
Throw you in the showers, and they're not nice to you, like if you were in the in crowd. Well, it makes you feel worse because now you won't get a good as chance to get back into the in crowd. You'll have to do something really crazy or go to your farthest limits to go get back in the in crowd if that is your decision.
If you choose the wrong way, it's a lot easier, but you know, you're not gonna feel that good about it afterward.
For example, this week, one of the boys on our street was picking on our neighbor, and I got in a quarrel with him and he slugged me, and I made the wrong choice of slugging him back. Now it's costing me because every time I turn a corner, he's waiting there for me, and I don't want to pick on him because he's smaller than I am.
If you make a dumb decision, you think, well, I should have listened to my dad or to my mom. I usually go to my dad because my mom usually says no right away, and then she always says, well, ask Dad. I don't know about these kind of things. And then I go ask my dad, and he says, you can wait a while, you can do without it right now. Sometimes, like, when you really need it, he'll say, wait 5 or 6 months, you know, or wait for Christmas, or wait for your birthday. And sometimes you need it bad, and you can't really go out and buy it because, like, even if you did have the money, you wouldn't feel good after if you tried it.
Well, sometimes maybe if your parents say no, I think, oh, forget it, I want it now. So you go out and buy it anyway, and then you have a hard time. If they find out about it, you're gonna have a hard time explaining it. So sometimes the wrong way is kind of hard to get out of.
And then you might not enjoy it as much.
It mostly happens around Christmas time when you're picking Christmas presents. Like when I was younger, I'd go through the Christmas catalog as soon as it would get there, and I'd say, I want this, I want that, and it would be a real dumb decision. Like once I got it, it wasn't as good as it was in the catalog, and then you'd say, yuck, I wish I had this isn't as good. And you'd rack your head against the wall.
Well, if you make a good decision, it makes you feel really super, you know. It gives you a fresh confidence.
Sometimes if you've gone to somebody else, you're glad that you went to them and that they gave you the advice that they gave you.
Hi everybody, look what I got.
Hi, Byron.
Look what we got.
Yeah, a vanilla milkshake.
Whoa, Byron! Those new volleyball shoes you want.
These new volleyball shoes everybody wants, you mean?
What's so special about them?
Everything, Connie, just look at them.
I don't get it. What's the big deal?
They're the best, Ron, and I finally got them.
I thought you said you really couldn't afford them.
Well, that was last week, but you know how it is. If you really want something badly enough, you go right out and get it somehow, right?
Hey, Byron, you want me to get you a milkshake?
No thanks, Kelly. You know how it is. If you load a guy down with too much junk food, you dull his edge.
Hello once again. I'm Wally Walker on location at Andrew Foot's Joggers Marathon. A mammoth endurance test is about to begin. Of particular interest to us today is the runner, Torque Anderson, who as a late starter is getting some help from his loyal fans. They're giving him as much advice as possible in these precious final minutes. Notice, if you will, the tall man with the sun visor offering Torque energy. It's so important to have the maximum amount of energy. Enough to take you to that last agonizing stride. And then there's strategy. One cannot place too much emphasis on the strategy. It would have been nice, though, if Torque could have exercised his mind in marathon strategy ahead of time. It's a definite disadvantage to plan your strategy at the starting line. And ladies and gentlemen, what about the equipment? What does one really need? What is the best, the most advantageous? As you can see, there are different schools of thought on this subject. Well, I believe Torque is finally ready, or should we say, as ready as time will permit. From here on, it's man against the clock. Yes, it's Torque against time. The gun sounds. He's off. It's a picture book start. Whoop, I do believe Torque is in difficulty. His performance has the necessary determination, but at the moment is a little short on direction. He's off again, but is he on the right track? No, he is not. As you can see, his determination is intense, but something does seem to be sadly lacking. One wonders if he was geared up for a load like this. But wait a minute. Yes, I do believe the man is finally getting it all together. But the big question still remains. Can Torque beat the galloping seconds that surge between him and the finish? Well, he's off again. The gap between Torque and the leading time is now considerable. But look at him go. It appears as if he has defiantly stripped off all thoughts of defeat. What a burst of renewed energy. It's as if he has become weightless. As the seconds tick off, Torque's stream of power is bringing him closer and closer to overwhelming victory. The pressure is paramount. Can he turn this newly found freedom into triumph? It's close. It's awfully close. Yes, he's done it. Torque Anderson has channeled the surging strides of defeat into a courtyard of victory. There is one conclusion a person can arrive at from such an extraordinary feat as this. You can't run a marathon carrying a lot of extra baggage. There's got to be an important lesson in there somewhere, don't you think?
That was good. I want another one.
Another one?
All that eating made me hungry. Well, actually, I've got to go home and study for a big test tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that.
You should be studying for it too, Byron. He's in my class, and if he doesn't perform on this test...
Well, you don't have to broadcast it all over, Don. It's bad enough that the teacher always reminds me.
If you ask me how I used to be, I will tell you about a different me. Brother, I was selfish, always number one. Had to have it my way, had to have my fun. Stay up late and watch TV or read. During school I get the sleep I need. Never do my homework, just go out and play. Finally I got tired, having my own way. I decided, then I tried a new life. I was bored, but with the Lord there's new life. Won't you join us and enjoy this new life with Jesus Christ? Let me tell you how my life has changed, how my good times have been rearranged. Now I'm seeing God's creation, walking in His way, giving and receiving joy that's here to stay. I decided, then I tried a new life. I was bored, but with the Lord there's new life. Won't you join us and enjoy this new life with Jesus Christ? I decided, then I tried a new life. I was bored, but with the Lord there's a new life. Won't you join us and enjoy this new life with Jesus Christ? With Jesus Christ. With Jesus Christ. With Jesus Christ. With Jesus Christ.
So then you're not going to study at all?
No, not tonight. I gotta go downtown to pick up some tickets.
Are you really going to that concert?
Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. And the tickets are only $8 and $9.
Where did you scrape up that kind of money?
Well, you know what they say. Where there's a will, there's a way. Besides, all my friends are going, and I wouldn't want to disappoint them.
You're silly, Byron. You're going to go to some concert and forfeit a whole school year in a subject.
I wouldn't do that work badly. Besides, going to a concert is much more fun. I can study anytime. But seeing one's favorite group is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, it's your choice.
And a wise one, too. Bye, you guys. I'm off.
Do you ever dream of owning your own car, maybe even a big, powerful sports car? But have you ever sat down and figured out how much it costs to keep a car in running condition? Probably more than you think. You see, a car is an expensive toy to have around, yet many times we abuse it and don't take as much care of it as we should. Many of the problems that happen under the hood of the car can be avoided or cleared up by a matter of replacing a small part or checking up on things once in a while. For instance, a misfiring spark plug can cost you 1 mile for each 10 miles you drive. You can usually notice a faulty spark plug by its appearance or when the engine is under a load, like accelerating or climbing a hill. Every plug should be cleaned, checked, and adjusted every few thousand miles. Worn-out plugs should be replaced so the engine will operate efficiently. This small task will improve gas mileage. The engine will start quicker and the car's performance will improve. A weak, run-down battery wastes precious gas. When you start the car with a poor battery, the gas is being pumped through the engine, but until it fires and begins to run, the gas is wasted. Most of it goes straight out the exhaust. Another easy task concerns the air filter, which, if ignored, can cause you worse trouble than necessary. If this filter is dirty or clogged, gas mileage can drop by 50%. The dirtier the filter, the more gas has to go in. If you take out the filter and cannot see through it, tap it on the ground so the dirt will fall out, or buy a new one. It's worth it. One of the easiest ways to cut down on gas costs is by watching your driving habits. It has been proven that limiting your speed on the highway to about 90 kilometers per hour will significantly cut down on gas wastage. As you get older, you'll find that you have more and more choices to make. Like, it'd be fun to have a car, but you'd have to decide what kind to get, how to take care of it, how to drive it, how much to spend on it, even why to get one in the first place. Many other things we want to get involved in require decision-making. It's important to learn to make decisions wisely and even to ask God for help in deciding.
Boy, oh boy, Byron's gonna suffer from fun at the end of the year.
I don't know. Maybe he knows more about that test than I think he does.
How come you're still here? I thought you went home to study.
I was going to, but why should I? Byron's not worried, and I got much better marks than he did. Even if I don't do great, I'll still pass.
That's not the point. Just because Byron's doing it his way doesn't mean you have to follow him.
See you guys.
Where are you going now?
I have chosen to go and study.
Just take 'em by the hand.
You know, in the Bible, there's a story about a man who had to make a choice. His name was Lot.
Lot?
That's right, Lot. L-O-T. Not as in backlot, but as in the name of a person. Somewhere in the beginning of the Bible, where they have all those begets and begats, and where it says so-and-so was the father of so-and-so, it says that Lot's father died when Lot was a young man. Now in those days, family clans were really, really strong, and so Lot was at a very big disadvantage. But there was someone who was really kind, and he offered to accept Lot into his family. His name was Abram, and he was Lot's uncle. Now Abram was a really generous person, and he went far beyond the customs of the land. He allowed Lot to start up totally on his own. Abram was a nomad farmer. He had a lot of cattle, he had a lot of servants. Now I guess Lot must have become very, very successful because soon his servants were fighting with his uncle's servants because there wasn't enough land. So Abram came up to him and said, we got to have a meeting. Have a bit of a heart-to-heart talk about this whole thing. Can't have our servants fighting all the time. He says, it's time for us to divide. So he took Lot to a very high piece of land. It was kind of a summit meeting. Went up to this piece of land so where they could see all the other land spreading around them. Now, Abram said to him, you have your choice. You choose. You either take the land to the west or the land to the east. Now, the land to the west was really fertile and had beautiful water in it, which a farmer needed. The land to the east was a little bit more rocky and kind of hilly. It wasn't as good. Now, Lot looked at it for a while, and he decided he wanted to take the west. And thus, he left his generous uncle with the poor land. Now, Abram wasn't upset. A long time ago, he had decided that he wanted to put his trust in God, and that still held. So Lot moved out to the valley. He moved close by to two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. You must have heard of those cities. There was a lot of wickedness in those cities. Eventually, Lot moved right into those cities. Finally, after a while, the cities grew so wicked that God had to destroy them. And so he sent a message to Lot that Lot should move out of the cities so that he could destroy them. But in the whole process, Lot just barely escaped himself, but he lost some members of his family. Now, Lot had made his choice. When he made his choice, his motive was kind of selfish, taking the best for himself. I kind of wonder what would have happened if he had asked God about what God wanted him to do. Choices are hard to make, but it's best to look to God for direction.
Say, how's this for an idea? Why don't you stop what you're doing right now, get a piece of paper, and drop us a line here at Third Story. Maybe we've reminded you of something interesting that you've experienced, or maybe you've learned something through the program, or even thought of a problem you might have. Write to us about it. We'd be glad to hear from you. When you do, we'll send you a magazine. It tells something about us and has some of the stories and songs from the programs. Send your letter to The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We'll be waiting to hear from you.